Sinal, as soon as I will get the I will see Dr. Professor Zafri. So
Yeah.
may I start? May I start at the time, or you will tell me?
Yeah, I'll tell you. We will wait for at least 30 participants. They must join. Okay,
Okay,
sir.
please give me the hint. Okay.
Sure, sure. I'll tell you. Very good morning to all participants. Dr. Shantanu, Dr. Vinay Kumar Mishra, Ashwin Dobaria ji, Dr. Diptonil, Dr. Ajay Upadhyay, Dr. Vinay Kumar Mishra, Ma'am Indu Tripathi, Navneet Bishnoi sir, Rachit Patel sir, Manmohan Bansal sir. A very good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Let's wait for our speaker for 2-3 minutes more. I heartily welcome all of you in this 4th day of FDP.
So, really excited to come to you. Hello, Dr. Garima.
Yeah, I think Zafri sir.
I think he has joined.
Yeah, a very good morning, Zafri sir. Our eminent speaker, Professor Zainul Zafri is with us. Good morning, sir. Can you listen us?
Yes, yes. We are
Zafri sir. Professor Zainul Zafri sir. Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, ma'am. Everybody.
How are you, sir?
Fine. So far.
Thank you, sir. Asim sir, now over to you, please.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Garima Goswami and Pankaj Goswami and the organizing team to organize such fabulous FDP on the entrepreneurship. And I'm highly thankful, Dr. Garima Goswami, HOD, Electrical Department, to give me this opportunity to serve the session. Esteemed dignitaries and officials from the university, Professor R. K. Dwivedi, FDP Journal Chair, distinguished faculty, resource person, and dear students. I'm Dr. Asim Ahmad and have a chance to introduce eminent scholar, researcher, and professors Zainul Abidin Jafri, Department of Electrical Engineering, Jamia Millia Islamia Central University. Dr. Jafri earned his BTech Electrical Engineering and MTech from Aligarh Muslim University in the year 1987 and 1989 respectively. He secured his PhD degree from the Jamia Millia Islamia in 2004. Professor Jafri has published 100 research papers in the Journal of International Repute. His research interest lies on digital signal processing, digital image processing, biomedical image processing, and soft computing teaching and their application in power engineering and electronic engineering. Professor Jafri is a member of various academic societies and holding senior membership of IEEE USA. Professor Jafri has attained wide range of administrative experience and served as HOD Electrical Engineering, Director of the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Jamia Millia Islamia. He is also looking as Honorary Director of University Training and Placement. Professor Jafri has many rewards, laurels in his career, subject expert in Public Service Commission, UPSC, Tripura, Jammu and Kashmir, Bihar. Sir, definitely this session will be beneficial for everyone. Sir, I welcome you and please.
Thank you.
Please over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me in this prestigious program. I am privileged to be here, sir. I am thankful to Dr. Goswami and all the administration of the TMH, Tirthankar Mahavir University. In fact, I had been a chance to visit your university, sir, I think 3-4 years back, again as an expert of selection committee. But I got invitation again, but I could not reach there. So I have a association with your university, and again that Dr. Garima Swami again this continue with this association. I'm thankful to everybody, and I hope that my lecture will slightly enhance the knowledge of your audience and all the participants. Thank you, sir, once again. So should I go to start this? Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
सर आपको किसी तरह के कोई
नहीं, हो
टेक्निकल
गया
असिस्टेंस चाहिए?
हो
जी,
गया सर, हो गया I
ओके
think so.
थैंक यू सर.
Is it visible? I think.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay, thank you. So, Garima, just before to start, may I know about the audience? They are faculty members, the students?
Yeah, sir, these are the faculty members. I mean, because this is a faculty development program. So all the participants are faculty members from various institutes and universities other than TMU also and from TMU also. So these all are faculty members, sir.
Okay, thanks.
No students.
That will give you some idea. See, okay, so very good morning to all the delegates and participants. I think we have already going through this faculty development program, and you might have been already attended many lectures. My topic will be, my discussion will be focused mainly that why this entrepreneurship is not so popular in India, and why the our students are not coming up in this sector. That is the main focus of our topic, and what we can do for that as a trainer. That is the main focus of my topic will be here. I will try my level best to explain something with my experience and with some of the material available in the public domain. So we'll start some fundamentals about entrepreneurship, then we'll move step by step and hope that will benefit. Basically, the entrepreneurship in India, I mean, if you go the historical background, so the most of our countrymen, that were Indians, they're entrepreneur in nature, but somehow, because the situation changes because of the many inevitable circumstances, this changes, and we slowly we becomes more job oriented rather than the entrepreneurship oriented mindset. So, but that needs to be changed again over the period of time. That's so. Let us see first see what is the meaning of this entrepreneurship. So, the entrepreneurship is the act of being an entrepreneur that has a many definition, and it is a very versatile topic. But one we can say that person who undertakes innovation, finance, and business acumen in an effort to transform motivations into economic goods. And the most obvious form of this entrepreneurship is that of starting a business. Recently, we call it as a startup company. So that is the main things that we understand by entrepreneurship and what we mean in today's scenario with the entrepreneurship. So now what is this life cycle, or what are the stages if someone want to be in entrepreneurship? All these stages are a continuous, really a challenging one, of course. So the first thing is in starting a business. That is one who conceives, plans, and start a business, depending on the market survey of that area or that region. Then after starting the business, the main challenge is how to make the business grow. That is the growing a business. So that is the business should grow. And when you means the business should grow, that means your sale of the product must go on. Okay. Or you can say the profit should go on. If profit is not increasing, okay, then your business, startup will die up. It will not sustain for a long time. So the starting a business, that is a planning and executing a business, then you have to make a tiring efforts for the growth of the business. Then you have to keep staying in the business, because staying is business. Starting a business sometimes is very easy, but staying in business is most challenging job, because you have a lot of competitors. Today's market is very, very competitive, and the customers are have a lot of choice. Not only the product made inside India, but the products available on the international market, because the whole world is become a liberal. There is no restrictions right now through the WTO. So the staying in business is more challenging than starting a business. Now, once your business growth is going on, then after some time, that is the fourth stage, and that is the final stage, that is exiting from the business. Now, why this exiting from the business? If your life cycle of your business or the product that you have started is started finishing, or it needs no more needs in the society, then, or you can say other way, the business is become no more profitable. Okay, so there is no point of staying in the business. So exiting a business in another stage, and as a good practice, international practice, you can't be easily or simply close your business. You can't do like that, because over the years, you have already have a lot of customer of your products. So that you have to keep always in mind, That is how you will provide the service to that customer once your business is closed. So that plan is also you have to make. So all these 4 stages is very important, and you have to decide meticulously, because obviously after exiting the business, you will like to start some other business. Then in that case, you will not able to, you will not afford to lose your reputation in the market by just closing down the business and left your customers in the lurch. So that is the exiting a business is also a big process, and it requires a big planning as well. Okay, maybe you can tie up with some other company that can provide the services to your existing customer, because your product may fade away after your product, let us say 5 years lifetime. At least the person who have purchased your product in the last, you have to give the service to that customer in the next 5 years. So that you have to make a plan, because you may be going to start some new business. So these are some cycles that have to keep in mind. Now, what are the characteristics or the that acumen that a entrepreneur should be needed? So the ambitions, creativity, decision making, perseverance, then capability to take risk. These are the few criteria, important characteristics that a person must possess if he wants to become an entrepreneur. Now, the ambitions. Now, if a person, if he does not have ambitions, you can't become an entrepreneur. The first and most important is that is you must have a high ambitions in your life. If it's a very contained person, he will not be very successful in the business, because in the business you must have ambitions, you must be competitive in nature, right? And you must have a firm determination to reach to your vision, to reach to your ambitions. That is the most and highly requirement of an entrepreneur. Now you must have a creativity. Creativity is an important, that is you can think out of the box. So the creativity is one of the most important characteristics that must have a entrepreneur in his decision making. Again, because the entrepreneur normally started by entrepreneurship normally started by a one person. It is a person centric. When you start a business, you are alone. Maybe you have a small team, but all the decision you have to take by your own. So if you are not a decision making, if you are dependent on someone else for all the kind of decisions, then it will be not going to work, because at any time you have to make a quick decision, right? In this, then you must have a capability to remain firm in your decision, and under any circumstances, because when you start a business, a lot of trouble, lot of unthinkable problems may arise at any time. In that time, you have a lot of ups and downs, lot of downs. In fact, first it will come to downs, then ups will go later on. So you must have a firm stability. You may remain stable in that your decision and keep working hard for your achieving your ambitions. And the most important, that is the problem is the capability to take risk. That is, you must have a capability to take risk at any time, because business is always a risky business in today's scenario, right? And it needs a continuous efforts, not for 1 day or 2 days, maybe years, okay, to make your ambitions fulfill. So you must have a perseverance, that is you can you must have a right, and you have a capability to take the risk in the starting. These are some of the characteristics which is required for any person to become business. Saying everybody is going to start, and nowadays it has become really very common. Our youngsters are very capable. They are ready to take risk, and they starting their business. But ultimately they fail. Sometimes they becomes very heartbroken. So these things are required for any entrepreneurship is obviously not a very good, because the success of the entrepreneurship in India is less than 2%. I'm telling you. Now, what is the role of entrepreneurship in our economic development? So, entrepreneur in as a whole, as a nation, it promotes capital formation, uh, then creates large scale employment opportunities. This is one of the most important. That is, they create some employment opportunities in that particular locality. So, it is a local development. Right. So if you are starting a small business in an area, the employment will be for that region, as mostly in that region. So that creates a employment opportunity in that region and the development of that region. So this promotes a balanced regional development. If small businesses are in every small regions, if small districts, then each district will grow. If you see in India, what happened is that is we know some of the metro cities who have economical development and have the employment opportunity, like Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, then you have Calcutta. So only metro, I mean, you can name a few cities for that. So this is called unbalanced development. And this unbalanced development of any country is a big issue for the governance of that country. The reason is one of the problem, if it is not a balanced regional development, then the migration of the people starts. So, and the concentration of the people in one region is more, and in other regions it becomes less. So that imbalance is always a problem. So you see, all metro cities are facing these big issues. Even if you go on Bombay or Mumbai or in Delhi and Calcutta is the major metro, we call it a metro cities, and they have their, because of this migration, they have very unforeseen circumstances in that cities, and we feel we take always many we read in the newspapers what's happening. So that is a issue because of this unbalanced development of the country. And with small entrepreneurship, small business, the one of the important aspect of the small business, that is, it will promote in the country the balanced region development. All region will develop, all region will have employment opportunity, the people will not migrate. This is the migrant workers. I mean, we have seen in the last 1 year the big issue in our country of the migrant workers. I mean, particularly in this pandemic time, and so that is the only reason. And this opportunity, this pandemic had taught us that is each region, each city must have the employment opportunity for its people, and that is only possible when the each region has small industries or big industry, you can say. But for the development of this, there are many issues that has need from the government side. We have to do. We'll discuss later on. It reduces concentration of economic power. That is, if not that is only one people of the country, one few people of the country, the whole economy is concentrated when only. You see, that is, that is about 80% of the economic is concentrated only 1% population of our country. That is not a balanced distribution of economic in our whole among the peoples.
So that is again, that what will happen is that then the gap between rich and the poor will increase. And when the gap between rich and poor increases, then it creates unrest among the society. And once it is unrest in society, then again it will a governmental issue and the problem for the running the country, running the states, or running the districts. So that is again a big issue. It increases gross national product and per capita income. Obviously, if each region is growing and economically, then the per capita income will increase, and the gross national obviously finally it is going to add to the GDP. Okay. Now let us see, having discussed some of the aspects and of your entrepreneurship, let us see why this is not becoming so popular in India. One of the major reasons is that the India has a diverse culture, and somehow that has seeped into the profession chosen by the communities too. I mean, from a very beginning, culturally, many cultures we have in India, many regions, and people of different cultures, different traditions have. So something is that is the community base. Some communities are already known for this type of task, so they are involved, and over the generations they are still in their business task. Some communities are let us say in business, so they are continuously over their many generation, but they are prefer to remain in that and they are continuing the same business or the same task they are doing for the centuries. So this is another reason. Our traditions are hard to leave, and we remain in that. Someone is in your job, so they are in job. They don't leave that. So this hardly happens. That is, a persons who have in defense, military. You will see that is many generations they are going in the military. So there are certain regions they are famous. That is, all the peoples in these regions they prefer military job and defense jobs. They are there. You'll find some of the regions that is they are the politician from century. They are the politician. They are the doctors. They are the doctors. So they will find many these examples in and around yourself. So that is another. We hard to choose. We hard to change that attitude. That attitude problem is still there. That is because of again our cultural heritage. The entrepreneurship, especially startups, particularly, is like walking on thin rope. Obviously, it is not an easy job, as I told you earlier. It is a very tough job. So even if this may not be the truth, it perpetually seems like that for many. Although it is true, in my as I have the experience, I'm meeting the people who have already doing their my students. There are many of my students. They are doing their business. Many they started. Some are very successful, and majority of them they fail. Okay. After a few years, they heartbroken, and some of them choose some mini jobs, or some are still struggling. So the fact is that it is a tough job. It is again like on a thin rope. You may fall any time. So this is the big risks involved. However, there are many people who are really tough, who are really challenging persons, and they are still doing their business. So you may fail or succeed in your venture. There is no financial security. The biggest issue is that if a person fails in his business, and he is not financially sound, because the business gives you income only after a few years. So in that few years, you must have an enough enough capital, that is, you must remain financially secure, that is, your family is financially secure, and you can bear your day-to-day expenses of your personal expenses as well as your business expenses. Only then you may survive. Otherwise, really, it's a challenging one. So because of these reasons, this makes it an unconventional choice for many people, including a youth who are otherwise known for their risk-taking ability. Our youths are very challenging, but the reason is that is, if a person is not financially secure from the family or from any side, then he normally did not prefer to take this entrepreneurship kind of task. As I told you, that is traditionally we are cautious and like to play safe, and that is what we have been taught by our peers and our forefathers, that you have to play safe in your life. So we don't take risk taking up in our life. Hardly there are, of course, there are person to take risk, but if we keep our ourselves in a safe and secure zone till whole life. This is the general nature of all Indian peoples. We don't take risk. You see in your Europeans and Americans, in fact, if you find that in our country, many of the hard region has been discovered by foreigners. They take the risk. They venture into the deep forest. They venture into the deep sea. They venture into deep high hills, and they try to find what is there. They are risky. They take their family as well. Even at the age of 70, 80, just go into forest and expeditions. But in India, it's very hardly nature that if people go for any kind of expedition. They just want to spend their life comfortably with their family and with their children. So that portion always makes the safe side. So as I told you, that is entrepreneurship is all about taking risk. So if you are ready to take risk and you are ready to sustain the risk in your entrepreneur, then only you should choose an entrepreneurship job, and that is very rare in here. So there is considerable risk involved in the business, right from investing a lot of money, you're planning, to getting the right customers, to sustain the business. That is why the people are not very keen to become an entrepreneur, our youngster particularly. Another most important reason for the dearth of the entrepreneurs is the lack of financial. This is again a big issue. As I told you, that is financial support. The finance, to start any business, you need some capital money. And that is a big issue. Either you don't have or you are not able to get it. The banking, even from the bank, if you are not affluent, if you are not financially sound, if you don't have any property, when the bank guarantee, the bank is not going to give you the finance. That was the now the government has eased down. We'll discuss later on. But early days, the banks were not providing finance to a simple persons. So that was a big issue again. So many of the people have the brilliant ideas, but they do not have the funding to implement. The funding is a big issue. The financial institutions and venture capitalists also have a lot of bias and lay down unreasonable terms and conditions that discourage the young entrepreneurs from pitching their ideas. Taking a loan from a bank is not an easy figures back, and still it is not easy. If you are not have a something background with you, then it is not easy to get the loan. Okay. Societal issues. This is the main issues I would like to discuss here. You see what happened in your in early days. If you go about 30 to 40 years back, then you will find that is most of the people were entrepreneurs. I myself I'm from the UP Purvanchal of the Uttar Pradesh, from a small village. If I see my childhood, I find that is in my village, everybody was entrepreneur. And we are almost make a Atmanirbhar. We have the agriculture, we have the oil producer, we have carpenter, we have hardly people go for school. So school remains vacant, but also the fact was that is the people were not educated. So I say that is when India was not educated, every person was an entrepreneur. They are doing some small business. And if you see that, particularly I will tell you UP, Uttar Pradesh, if you start, each region is famous, each district is famous for certain types of small scale industries. If you see start from this western side, then you let us see the Khurja. And Khurja is famous for its pottery and crockeries. Okay, and still people are known that Khurja is what Khurja is. Then you go for Aligarh. The Aligarh is famous for Aligarh locks. I mean, of course, that business is dying. Then you move further, Muradabad. Your Muradabad is famous for brass handicrafts, Muradabadi Batan. And we know Muradabadi Batan. We know that. And so, if further move to the east, then Firozabad. It is famous for its glass work, Churiya particularly, Firozabadi Churiya. You can further move to Lucknow, chicken arts. If you further move to the Varanasi, Banarasi Sariya, even the Bhadoi, a small district, now it became a district, it was a part of Benares. So it is for its Kalin. So you'll find that the whole Purvanchal is famous for this handloom saris, okay? Cotton saris. The Banaras is famous for this, it's silk sari, but the other area in the Purvanchal, they are mostly for this kind of this cotton saris productions. So, and I must tell you that is the whole particularly I'm giving an example of the UP. The whole UP has small scale industries in almost every region. And I must tell you that UP may not you count as a as from Maharashtra and Pune. We say that is Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. They are the capital of this financial, right? In Bombay, Mumbai particularly. But you have never seen any hunger that in UP. The reason is that is they had a small scale industry. Each region is involved. Then when a person is not a handicapped, he can earn at least 100 to 200 rupees per day. And in Eastern UP, berry making, it is a small business. I mean, the people just give you material, that roll it, and at the evening you can get 100 rupees. So everybody can earn certain money for its survival. So that was a small scale industries in India. But what happened later is that is So what were the the concept was that is, if a person is in business, he is not educated, uneducated. Sometimes you may say uncultured. So whenever, and some person who were educated, they were in business. They were doctors, they were engineers, either they were civil services, or simply they were clerk. In Eastern UP, if you go, the clerks are very respectable community. I mean, Chote Babu and Bade Babu. We say Bade Babu, Babus. Also Bade Babu, Chote Babu. The most respectable persons. So what changes with that? With this mindset, what changes among our system is that is to become a job seeker, to look for a job. So what happened in the last 50 years, that is, then the people and with the NGO, with the efforts of the government, the people become educated. They go towards the education now, because if you education, then we'll get a respectable respect in the society. That what happened is they become educated, and once they are educated, they left this small business and they go for the job. So in the last 50 years, what happened is that is the education has increased. Our youth has become educated. Just hold on, please. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I was just taking a call. Thank you, sir. Thank you for disturbance. So what I'm telling is that is, so what happened is that is, so in the last 10 to 20 years, because the efforts of our education among our population have increased, and you find many engineers, many doctors, many graduates, many postgraduates, a large number of also the PhDs, and everybody have started looking for a job. So over the last few decades, the number of job seekers increased, and these small scale industries, they start dying, because the family that were doing this business and the whole family was involved in that small business, they have sent their children to the school, they become educated, and they are looking for a job and they get the job. So it not happens only that is the person, then the family stopped this business. So over the last few decades, the number of job seekers in this country increased, and the number of industries, they decline. So this becomes a gap between the job producers and the job seekers. And that is why you find nowadays that even if there is a job of peon, ad for the job of a peon, you will find where the qualification is only metric or even no qualification, you will find that is lakhs of applications are there, and most of the people applied are even engineers. It is a very sorry state for that today, but the fact is that I have found many of our because I'm always connected to my locality. I used to go in my village and my locality every year, and I connect with the people. And I find that is the people are so happy if his son has did graduate engineering from some college and he got a job of a clerk. They are so happy, and they just celebrate it because he got a job. He got a job. So that is the problem that has changed. So what happened is that is, if you are not educated, then you do this small business. If you do a business, if you are educated, you should look for a job. That attitude we have to change. We have to change that attitude. We have to teach our classroom. We have to teach our students that after getting education, you can start your business. You can go in the business. You can become an entrepreneur. You can contribute your family business in a better way. You can manage your family business in a better way. So that teaching has not been done. In our education system has failed here. Our education system is there, that is, they just train them to become clerk. That is the main crux of the and not these not that of your small colleges of small cities. The big universities, the #1 university in our countries, the top universities of our country, they're teaching in the similar fashion. And you look for the JNU, Allahabad University. They were famous, that is, they produce IS. That means the teaching is again go to become a clerk. And IS itself is a clerk, you can say, that is a babu, though, that you say. And why? The second issue of the society is that society is they're not able to respect our entrepreneur. I mean, if you are a clerk or a BDO, you have more marriage market. You will get a lot of. If you have in a government job, young has got a government job, he will get a lot of marriage offer from his relatives, from his society. But if he is doing a small business, a small shop, nobody is looking after him. Although he might have a better financial condition than a job seeker. Okay. So the second is that I will give you I will give you one example of my students where I joined as a teacher. One of my engineering students, he was a very good student, of course, and he I mean, this is also a region. Some of the people, they are from business background. So one of my students, he was from a business background. Obviously, he used to come with a good bike. I'm telling you about this is of 90s, I mean, early days. After graduating, obviously, he got a job from the campus, a very good. After 6-7 months, when he came to meet me in my college, I asked him, I think his name was Gurmeet. So I tell Gurmeet, what are you doing? How are you? बोला सर मैं तेल बेच रहा हूँ. मैं sarcastic से सर मैं तेल बेच रहा हूँ. मैंने कहा are you joking? बोला no sir, I'm not joking. I did not join the job. I just my family is in edible oil business, so I joined that family business. I'm doing that. So my immediate reaction was that, so why would you BTech? I mean, it is absurd. I think myself, I was biased in that nature. So my question, why would you do business, BTech? So his simple answer was, sir, to get a good wife, so that I get married in a good family. So that is the issue of the societies. That is why when even if a youngster want to go for a business, become an entrepreneur, then he has a lot of pressure from the family, lot of pressure from the relatives. You better get a job, because obviously if a person is doing engineering, he can get a good job in the market. But the family family issues, relatives, their peer, their friends, they are not ready to accept that you go for business. And the reason is only because of that, because it is a risky factor. So these things we have to change. And when I started, as I told you that I was a director of this Center for Innovation Entrepreneurship of Jamia Millia Islamia. I was the founding director. In fact, I started this about 8 years back. So when I called people from the industry, I tie up with the Ministry of MSME to start. We got also fund for that to start to train the students to become the entrepreneur. The objective was that is to train the students. I mean, the government has a lot of scheme. It is not today. About 10 to 15 years back, the government has a lot of scheme to promote entrepreneurs. The small MSME, Ministry of MSME is doing a lot of things. So I had tie up with that. So I got a fund about 1 to 2 crore rupees to start. I mean, it was the 50-50. 50% investment will be from the university and 50% from the government side. This was the scheme. So I got the fund. University give the space. Actually, university has to give the furnished space for that, and the machineries will be given by the ministry, fund for the ministry, and then we have to sustain yourself. That is the model of this business program. So I've been there for 3-4 years, so I have a lot of experience in that. So the first thing is that is you have to motivate our youngsters. That is the first objective. That is the motivation, and that is the highly required. And all faculty members can do this. All our faculty members, they have the responsibility to tell our youngster that is see, the education is not for the job. Education is that is to make you bright, to make you thinking bright. To acquire the knowledge, right? What we used to say earlier is that is professional courses, non-professional courses. What is this? I mean, every course is a professional course. Even BCom is a professional course. Plain B is the professional course. I mean, so that was again a distribution. This is engineering is a professional course, and this is a non-professional course. I mean, all courses are professional course. That is why the new our education policy has said all courses are equal. So all courses will be up 4 years. I mean, it is not that engineering is 4 years and BA is 2 years or 3 years. No, all graduate course, it will be only graduate course or a postgraduate course. That's enough. And the students can become skilled after schooling. The skill development program has to go in the school. That we'll see. So when I called some person from the industry, to motivate our students, particularly engineering, from Ministry of MSME, I called someone. One person was lecturing, and he was taking that is how an engineer, how you can start a business of making small nails or candles. So one person stand up, one student of engineering, obviously, or from mechanical engineering, and said, सर लोग क्या कहेंगे समाज में इंजीनियरिंग करके मतलब जो है कैंडल बना रहा हूँ. I mean, that's mindset we have to change. That mindset we have to change, right? This is the things. And we as a trainer, we as a teacher, and higher education institution can play a major role in this. You see, watch time is also going up. So now, what is the entrepreneurial ecosystem? I mean, to start a business, we have to understand this ecosystems. So you see, that is obviously government policy must be there. Government has to change its policy to make entrepreneur lucrative business for our youngsters. Then regulations, infrastructures must be there. The one thing which we are lacking in our country, that is the infrastructures. I mean, you can say still today there are many regions
where the electricity is not there. If it is very minimal, I mean, it's 4 to 5 hours of electricity. So if you want to become entrepreneur, if you don't have the internet facility, you don't have the electricity for 24/7, then how can you start that? I know that even because I belong to that regions in Varanasi or in this eastern regions, the people making a carpet or this Banarsi area, they require some looms, and that run obviously on electricity. Earlier it was a hand loom, but it's become say electric run. So when there's no electricity, they can't work. So you cannot complete the target. So that is the reason. Now who will provide electricity? Obviously the government systems. So these infrastructure should be provided by the government. And what rightly said is that is the job of the government is not to do the business. The job of the government is that to provide infrastructures and facility to the people of our country so that they can do business. So the government should govern the country and the businessmen will do the business. That is what now the government is also thinking, and the people have businessmen also thinking like that. So the government job is that is to provide the road, I mean so transportation, electricity, water, and law and order. If law and order system is not good, then nobody will start a business. You will see that is the kidnapping of business and people, everything happens. Okay, so that is, and I'm thankful that is our government, present government, is thinking on that way. Now the government is not going to do any business. This is why they are going to disinvestment policy. I mean, slowly they will disinvest everything, and the business will be done by the businessman. And the government job will be only to provide infrastructure, regulations, and the control of this business. Then of course the funding and finance. The government has to provide the funding for these entrepreneurial systems. Okay? Culture, of course, as I told you, the culture is to play a big issues, role in that. Our society, and culture means our society. Society has to change ourselves. What happens in European country? India में क्या होता है? Cost is one issue, right? कभी-कभी तो अरे ये हमारे लिए सही नहीं है ये काम करना. In Europe, the only one thing works: money. If you are money, you are good, you are respectable in the society. If you have a big car, big house, and that comes with the money. So that is society. Whereas in our country, the money is not important. In fact, it has been taught by our forefathers, our ancestors, that is nahi, money is not a good thing. है ना? पैसा मोह माया है, इसके पीछे मत भागो. इस बात को बार बार बताया गया. इनफैक्ट उनको ये बताना था कि पैसा गलत तरीके से, बेईमानी से कमाना गलत है. ईमानदारी से पैसा कमाना is very, very important if we want to sustain our society, our family, and our country. Okay. Then obviously the mentors, advisors. University, obviously, as I told you, the university has a lot to rule. We have to, because we are actually for 3-4 years with our youngsters, and at that time we can change their minds, their mindset. We have to teach any subject we are teaching, be it English or engineering subjects. We have to tell them that this subjects will, how this subject will help you
Sir?
Hello.
Yeah, I think there is network problem on sir's side.
Yeah.
because I'm calling.
Yeah, please.
I have called him, sir. He's just trying to reconnect. There's some network problem on his side.
Okay,
Yeah.
please keep patience, please. He's connecting now.
Yes, sir. Sure, sure, sir, sure. You just take your time and please try to reconnect. Give me 5 minutes time. Sir, within 5 minutes, he will reconnect. There is some problem on his network side. He called me that within 5 minutes, I'll connect.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
All are requested, please stay on the line. Just he will be connecting shortly. Professor Jaffrey has net problem, so please stay on the line.
There's an announcement to all the participants. After this session, we will have a quiz, and the quiz link will be posted in their chat box. And you need to fill that, and immediately after that, within the day, you need to submit both of the quizzes for first session and for the second session also. For first and second, there is one quiz, and for third and fourth session, there is another quiz. So there will be two quizzes for the day, and you need to submit till the end of the day, that quiz.
Dr. Garima, it will end by 11:30, na?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This session will be going on till 11:30.
And then it will start again by 12.
Exactly. We will have a break of half an hour, then it will start by 12 o'clock again.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I request all the participants, you can make it bi-directional also. If you want to discuss anything with a speaker, you can do. If you can have any query regarding entrepreneurship, or you want to discuss something like related to your students also, you can discuss.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, I'll welcome to all my participants of this FDP And I heartily welcome to all of you, and thanks to you to joining this FDP. Mr. Manmohan, Ms. Ma'am Jaya Sinha, Dr. Amit Saxena, and Sugandh Gupta, Dr. Siddharth Mathur, Shri Bhagwan sir, Saurabh Kumar sir, Madam Rupali Mahajan, Ramakant sir, Rachit, I think Zafir sir. Yeah. Well,
You can continue your own. You can do it. No issue.
Yes, sir. Actually, I just wanted to welcome all my participants and
Oh, sure.
was greeting to them. Yeah. Now, sir, you are visible, and now you can share your screen again. Welcome back, sir. Yeah. So, sir, can I tell a participant if they want to discuss anything with you regarding entrepreneurship, or as all are the faculty members over here? So,
Sure.
yeah, sometimes we get confused that what to advise to our students. Like I also sometimes get confused. Like one of my student, if he's interesting in opening some company of transformer, if he is electrical engineering student, and he wants to start a career in just for the business in regarding transformers, small transformers, and he gets job in some software company with a good package. And if he comes to me, then what should I advise him? Should he join to a software company, or should he go to with his dream and all for the
Actually, see, ma'am, it is a really difficult job advising.
Yeah.
I am here, and many of the students come to me and they take advice.
Yes, sir.
And I love that. So whenever a student is coming to you, and he have two options, because nowadays what I'm finding is our youngsters are more interested in doing this business entrepreneurship, because government has opened this policy. It becomes easier to start right now. In the last 4 or 5 years,
Yes,
this is
sir.
becoming easier, and they have the market as well. Okay, but we have to see, the first thing that is we have to discuss with their parents. When I say please discuss with your parents, or you can bring them with me, I will discuss them. What is your, because I told you that it is not going to, your entrepreneur is not getting the fruit in 1 year, right? So can you sustain for 1 year? What is the financial conditions? What their parents are looking, are their parents are earning? If he is the one person in his family and going to earn, obviously I don't advise him, because if he fails, his whole family will distress. So I say that is, if he's well off from his family, their parents are working, he has no liability on him, it is better go.
You can take a risk then.
Yeah, that we have to see the whole background.
Yes.
Whenever I advise, in any, even some courses, students come to me, that is what course I joined. Even after doing BTech, students go to the some abroad for master course. What subject I choose? I always say that please discuss with your parents. If they are here, you can bring with me. I just wanted to know what is your background, what can you do. So obviously it is not easy. It is a tough job, and unless until wide experience. Alhamdulillah, I have a wide experience. I have traveled a lot across all the my country, from one Kashmir to Kanyakumari. A lot of meetings I have attended. I have seen many. At least I have seen my 10 students in the last 10 years. They are doing their business, and they are doing a great business. I mean, they are earning a lot. Obviously, they are employing 30 to 40 students from my college itself. It's not a 40 years old. It's only 10 years in the last during 10 years, and they were salary was about 1 lakh rupees per month. So you have to also see whether the student has that capability. That capability is very important, which I've discussed earlier.
Yes,
obviously, but what we can do is that we have to motivate in the class in general. If somebody is coming particularly, we have to see the background whole. Otherwise, we can, in the classroom, we have to motivate. When I'm teaching my master course particularly, I tell students, lecturers are very bookish type. This is more important what I'm telling. So in the class, I say I'm teaching one subject. So I teach the subject, that is the students are going to produce that subject, how you can market them. and what are the challenges involved. We never teach them. We never teach financial. We never teach finance. स्टूडेंट्स क्या करता है कि सब्जेक्ट्स को पढ़ना हमें सर किस लिए पढ़ना है, कंपटीशन क्वालिफाई करना है, ओनली फॉर द कंपटीशन, है ना?
Yes, sir.
एक लड़का बोल रहा है कि सर मैं बहुत गरीब हूँ, मैं तो इसलिए पढ़ रहा हूँ, मुझे नौकरी चाहिए। मैंने कहा बेटा अगर ये बात होती तो अंबानी के बच्चों को तो पढ़ने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी।
Exactly, sir.
उनको तो उनके बाप तो इतने कमा रखे, पढ़ने क्या जरूरत थी उनको, बट दे वेंट टू द हार्वर्ड, वो वहां से पढ़ के आए। So these things you have to see the motivational lectures. I think it is very, मैं अपने कोर्स का जो सिलेबस बताता हूँ ना, तो 3 दिन मुझे सिलेबस बताने में लगता है, 3 लेक्चर सिर्फ सिलेबस बताता हूँ। एंड MBA जो कर रही है आउटकम बेस्ड एजुकेशन, आप ये बताओ कि सब्जेक्ट पढ़ के तुम क्या सीखोगे।
Exactly.
मैं स्टूडेंट से पहले दिन पूछता हूँ बेटा तुम बीटेक इलेक्ट्रिकल लिखने के बाद तुम नीचे अपने बायोडाटा में क्या लिखोगे? Why the company should give you the job? बीटेक इलेक्ट्रिकल, नीचे तुम्हारे पास क्या है, क्यों जॉब देगी? लड़का 0 है। So these things each teacher should say like that.
Yes, sir. So it's totally depend on the background, whatever the
Obviously,
background.
obviously.
Yeah,
Background is
he's
very
having.
important. Background is very
Yeah.
important because
If
safety is
he's
there. We cannot.
yeah, if
we
he's
cannot
having
see.
some backup support from the family, then he can go for his dreams also. Yeah,
But
or else he can join the company for 1 or 2 years, then earn money,
Yeah.
and then he can complete his dream. Like
that is why what I say, and all my students who are entrepreneurs, in the first 4 years they do the business, they do the job, they did the job, they see all the ups and downs, then they go for the business.
Yes, sir.
So that is very important. They know the market's ups and downs by doing the job. And I advise them to go in a small industry, a small company, because in a big company, you will not able to know that. If you are wanted to become an entrepreneur, you join a small company, startup company, where you can learn everything from management to technical supports. Okay. Other than a big company, you have to do only one job.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You have solved my query very nicely. Yes, sir. So many times it happens. Students comes and we have just get confused what to say.
This thing obviously you think this comes by experience, because I have the experience of many of my students. And I'm in contact with them, what they are doing, how they are facing, what are the problem they are facing. And sometimes I call them and I send a student go and discuss with that person. I have also some experts with me, with my contacts. I tell them to go and discuss with it, because project writing itself is a big issue. You have to able to write your project for getting the funds. So we have because during entrepreneurship, when I am a director, I have a good contacts. I send the students, go to them, contact them, what they advise. It's not only me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Garima?
Should I
Yes, sir.
So just I finish in few minutes. Still we have 15 minutes. We can finish it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
So that is these are the ecosystem that that have to play the role to promote entrepreneur among the society and among our students. Okay. These are the sub conference happens in US particularly about this, and there are some of the recommendations from the government policies how they will promote this ecosystem. So I'm just reading out, and they don't need much explanation. I will explain somewhere. So make the formation of the entrepreneurial activity a government priority. So government have to take the priority basis, and that is why then your decision, your policy should be based on the entrepreneurial activities. That is the formulation of effective policy for entrepreneurial ecosystem requires the active involvement of the government ministers working with senior public servants who act as institutional entrepreneurs to shape and empower policies and programs. So in fact, whole government, whole ministry, it is not only the Ministry of MSME, it's a Ministry of MSME, a Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Law, and of course, Ministry of Labor. So all these ministry has to come together, because it is all ministry are has to change their policies to promote this. So all ministry has to be involved. and it go up to DM level. Ensure that the government policy is broadly focused. Policy should be developed that is holistic and encompasses all components of the ecosystem rather than seeking to cherry pick areas of special interest. And in that, I will tell you that is universities and higher education institutions and even the school education, they comes into play. And the new education policy is encompassing all these things. Now, I might be, my thinking is slightly different from most of my colleagues. They don't think so. But because I read a lot of books. This is one thing is that I read a lot of books other than engineering books. So our education policy, this policy of exit, multiple exit from your education, that was telling for the last many years that this policy should be here. Suppose the students have joined a BTech program, and after 1 year, after 2 years of doing your BTech program, he is not able to continue because of financial problem. He wanted to do a job or wanted to start some business. He come up with some idea, he got a chance, he wanted to start his business. Then what should happen? Earlier system, what was there? Now you leave it and go. You have to complete in 5 years. We are not able. Your whole efforts of 2 years finish. But now in multiple exit system up to new education policy 2020, a student can exit after every year. After first year, he can exit. He can go and do his whatever he wants. He can come back and join. His credit will be stored in a credit bank. That is called an academic credit bank. And after he will get a certificate degree. Even if he do not want to come join back, his 1 year efforts will not be going to vain. He will get a certificate. After 2 years, he will get a diploma. After 3 years, he will get a graduate degree. And there's no limit. And it is not only that somehow because of any regions, a girl after marriage, let us say, he went from UP to, let us say, Madras. And she wanted to continue his studies. In earlier system, there was no option, but now she can go there and she can take admission in any of the institutes. Her credit will be transferred there because now the government is saying that all credits must be stored in a credit bank, and this is a national credit bank. It's not a your university credit bank, and the credit will be transferred. I will give you one example of private university. They started because they are collaborating with the European universities. European university had this policy. So one university, this is Sharda. No, not Sharda. There. HCL की यूनिवर्सिटी कौन सी है गरिमा, आपको याद होगा नोएडा में?
Sir, Sharda University.
Shivnadar. Shivnadar, not Sharda. Shivnadar University.
Shivnadar University.
So one of my colleagues' son was studying in Shivnadar University in engineering.
Yeah.
But he was not interested in engineering. But because of peer pressure, his father was an engineer, and society looks for engineering, so he joined the engineering group. But in Shivnadar University is collaborative in university, and they are focusing on overall growth of the personality of the student, not only subject. So they have in the first year, they have environmental science, they have English, they have language and drama, everything is there. So he was not comfortable. His father told me that he is not becoming comfortable. His grade is also not very good. But in English, he is getting a very good marks. And he mostly focused. So after 1 year, even his teachers felt that he's not taking interest in engineering subject, rather he's taking interest in social science subjects. So the teachers advised that you can change your branch from engineering to English. Because if you remember, the Sharda University, Shivnadar University started all courses of 4 years, whether it's a BA English or BTech engineering, right? So after 1 year, they discussed with their parents, and his parents were very liberal because in Delhi we must be liberal. I belong to a very small village, but I'm very liberal to my students. I asked my students from very beginning, my children, and my son, and I have one son, one daughter. They choose their choice of course. not my compulsion. This is why I have never faced any problem, because they choose their course of their choice. They keep on studying without and beating them or and scolding them. They keep studying and still they are doing that. So after 1 year, he changed his course from BTech to BA, and whole of his credit got transferred to his BA. So he got admissions in second year transfer. That is called a liberal system. And that is what the new education policy is thinking. I'm really happy that this government has implemented this. I don't know exactly how the university is going to implement. Actually, university is still very rigid. They are not going to change itself. We are very rigid in that one. But I must say that is a very good policy. So मेरे इंजीनियरिंग में क्या था, आफ्टर 4 years, आप 7 years में आपको इंजीनियरिंग कंप्लीट करना है. मेरे यूनिवर्सिटी का रूल ये है. 7 साल एक बच्चे ने इंजीनियरिंग की और एक पेपर में वो फेल हो गया, तो उसको 7 साल बाद आपने एनएफटी की डिग्री दे दी. I mean, how cruel this? Students, out of 200 credits, he is not able to clear only 3 credits of paper, and you say you are not fit for technical education. Do you think this is the right thing? This is justified, and I was fighting for this for many years. Luckily, the government has done it. No, my officers never listen me, anybody. But now the government is, thanks to the government, this Modi Sarkar, that they have implemented this policy. I'm really happy. So that is the holistic. I mean, that we have to do. These things we have to change. Allow for natural growth, not top-down solution. ऊपर से order नहीं होना चाहिए. Slowly आपको grow करना. Built from existing industries that have formed naturally within the region or country, rather than speaking to generate new industries from greenfield sites. Okay? Ensure all industry sectors are considered not just high tech. And ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ you can pick, hand pick. This sector is only there and this sector is all is. I must say, starting from carpenter and a plumber, simple, to go for even a chip making company. Encourage growth across all industry sectors, including low, mid, and high tech, obviously all kind of sectors. Provide leadership, but delegate responsibility and ownership. I mean, you have to, tell the person that is, you are a leader, no doubt. It will start from the top, but even at the lowest level, person feel responsible and a sense of ownership. Many of the companies in India, they have given each employee some shares. This is they allowed some share. Blue chip company, you have implied they have allotted 1,000 share to you. This is part of their salary package. So, and they say that is I have given you 1,000 share of my company, and the share will be given 100 share every year. So what does it mean? They to retain their employee. This is one thing, to retain their employee, and the second thing that is the employee will feel the ownership, that I am the stakeholder of this company, not only the employee. In fact, I am the owner. So these things are going in the big companies. Adopt a top-down and bottom-up approach, involving responsibility to local and regional industry. That is a top-down pattern, and bottom-up approach is a very managerial approach. We'll discuss later. It is a lengthy topic. Develop policies that address the needs of both the business and its management. Recognize that small business policy is transactional, while entrepreneurship policy is rational in nature. Development of a technical and vocational education. Although this vocational education is there for from very starting of our country from 60s, and that is called ITI, but it is never in picture. Nobody think about ITI. Although the ITI was made keeping this in mind as an entrepreneurial system. So that we have to start again. Establishment of science and technology park. Increase in research and development expenditure. Obviously, for the innovation, the research fund must be there. So the government has to increase the funding for the research. And new education policy, the government has already formed a national research fund. And now what can do for particularly, Garima, I'm telling you all this. The government is now not differentiating between the private university and the public university. They say both are equal. So any fund created by the government, any project started by the government, each university, each institute is equal for the government. You have to apply a good project, you have to write a good project, and they are going to give you, and that's happening. Establishment of financial institutions, obviously the bank finance is very important. The government has to say that the finance is readily available to the entrepreneur. Simplification of licensing procedure, licensing राज को बिल्कुल खत्म करना होगा. इंडिया में लाइसेंसिंग राज बहुत है, ये अनड्यू पावर देती है पुलिस को और हमारे कलर को, वो घर पे आके आपको रोक लोगा. So that policy has to be liberalized, and many of the policies has to be changed. And secondly, it has to be one window. एक विंडो पे बंदा जाए और उसको सारे लाइसेंस मिल जाए. You don't have to go from office to office, otherwise ये encourage नहीं होगा. National awards, and we should declare some awards for the best entrepreneurs of the year, so that to encourage our young entrepreneurs. Availability of subsidies, obviously tax exemption subsidies must be given to our new entrepreneurs. These are all for governments. It is going to be a long-term effort, but thankfully it is doable. We can do it, as everyone from government to the higher education and even the NGOs have realized the importance of the promotion of the entrepreneurship. And as I told you, in the last 4 or 5 years, all this, higher education, NGOs and the government, obviously they have realized, and they are doing a lot of things. A lot of changes have been done in the last 8 to 10 years, not in 5 years, in fact 10 years. I tell you one thing changes in my institutes, what will change. Earlier, about 6-7 years back, we have a 250 credit course. Our BTech program was 250 credits. So one day, because we call always some experts for lectures from abroad, from industry, from ये हमारे बहुत होता है. So one expert बोला कि he see we are presenting our profile of the department. So he see our profile. सबसे पहले उसने हमारा टाइम टेबल देखा, कोर्स 250 क्रेडिट्स. मुझे याद है कि ये हमारे स्टूडेंट्स, आई एम सॉरी ये लेक्चर जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. स्टूडेंट्स मुझसे बोलते थे कि सर हमारे स्कूल से यूनिवर्सिटी में कोई फर्क ही नहीं है, यहाँ भी 9 से 5:30 तक क्लास होती है, एक भी पीरियड फ्री नहीं होता है. सो इन दैट लेक्चर दैट एक्सपर्ट्स, 2 experts from outside, one from industry, one from some very experienced person from academia, from IITs, he told us कि भाई your students is busy from 9 to 5 and your faculty is busy from 9 to 5. तो इनोवेशन रिसर्च का टाइम कहाँ से मिल रहा आपको है? आप इनोवेशन कब करोगे? स्टूडेंट को अपना दिमाग लगाने का मौका कब दोगे? आप ही पढ़ाए जा रहे हो. और हमारे टीचर कब सोचेंगे, कुछ रिसर्च करेंगे? एंड देन वी चेंज. उन्होंने कहा ये 250 क्रेडिट से 200 क्रेडिट पे लेके आओ. तो हम लोग इमीडिएटली, क्योंकि जाहिर से बाहर के एक्सपर्ट्स आते हैं, लोग सुनते भी हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी ने सुना, एंड बिकॉज वी ऑटोनॉमस यूनिवर्सिटी, हमें खुद, तो हम लोगों ने 200 क्रेडिट लाए. अब बच्चे के पास जो है हफ्ते में कम से कम जो 20 घंटा फ्री है, उसमें एक चॉइस बेस्ड क्रेडिट हम लेके आए कि बच्चा अपने मर्जी से कोई भी हर सेमेस्टर में 1 पेपर इज ऑफ हिज चॉइस, वो जाके चाहे ड्रामा चूज कर ले, चाहे आपका जो मैनेजमेंट का कोर्स चूज करे, चाहे लॉ का कोर्स चूज करें. तो नाउ ईच स्टूडेंट्स now has a free time. अब हमारे सारे स्टूडेंट्स इन द लास्ट 5 to 10 years आई एम सीइंग, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स सारे जितने कंपटीशंस हो रहे हैं स्टूडेंट्स के, उसमें टॉप रैंक फर्स्ट प्राइज लेके आ रहे हैं. और बच्चों को 25,000, 1 लाख, 1.5 लाख का प्राइज मिल रहा है, राइट. सो उसमें क्या है कि बच्चों पर जब टाइम है अपना काम करने के लिए, और जो हमने इनोवेशन सेल अपना खोला था, उसमें हमारे पास लैब है जहाँ बच्चे दिन भर बैठ के अपनी मर्जी काम कर सकते हैं. सो दैट इज डूइंग दिस वे. So, nurturing our culture, and government is doing a lot of things. As I told you that now the government is doing a lot of things in India. मैं इसको थोड़ा जल्दी ले जाऊंगा, मेरा टाइम हो गया है. Government of India and even the state governments are already encouraging startup idea with the initiatives such as Startup India, Global Enterprise Summit, and there are many things the government is doing. All higher education institutions such as IIM, IITs, NITs, they have started entrepreneurship oriented courses even my university, I've last 3 years back, we have started innovation and design, a course in innovation and design, a master course in innovation and design, a certificate course in innovation design. I mean, this kind of courses we have started, where, and this course is such that students can do by doing our regular course as well. आप एक रेगुलर कोर्स कर रहा है और ये कोर्सेज शाम को हो रहे हैं, उसी में इस कोर्स को भी कर सकता है. So students have started thinking like that. No time to attend classroom lectures. I mean, ये जो अटेंडेंस मैंडेटरी था ना, मैं इसके बिल्कुल खिलाफ हूँ. जिस दिन से मैं लेक्चरर बना था, Why your attendance of the student must be must. हालांकि यूनिवर्सिटीज बिल्कुल नहीं मानती है, 75% अभी हमारे यहाँ भी है, but my opinion is that is why the students should attend the class. The only thing we have to evaluate the students. Our evaluation system should be changed. Students can gain their 50 साल पहले सिर्फ सोर्स ऑफ नॉलेज सिर्फ टीचर था, गुरु थे. अब सोर्स ऑफ नॉलेज बहुत अच्छे हैं, हमसे अच्छे लेक्चर MIT के अवेलेबल हैं, तो हमारा लेक्चर लड़का क्यों सुनेगा? We should evaluate the students' capability, not lecture them. So ये अटेंडेंस मैंडेटरी क्लासरूम से खत्म होना चाहिए. ये मेरा ओपिनियन है, not my university or anybody, but I always promote this. And you know that is best institutes in the world and even in India. अटेंडेंस नहीं है, JNU में कोई अटेंडेंस नहीं है, ना टीचर की ना स्टूडेंट्स की है, ठीक है ना. हमने जादवपुर यूनिवर्सिटी, वहाँ हमने एक टीचर बोला कि यहाँ छुट्टी किस बात तुम लोग लेते हो, हमने कोई छुट्टी लेना होता है. So this is so that I'll take.
Please conclude.
So the government have started many promotional entrepreneurship, and Atal Incubation Center is one of the best things. You can get a lot of money, at least 10 crore money is there. You can apply, you can get it. Then new generation IEDC. This is also for a new generation innovation entrepreneurship development center. You can, all our entrepreneurs can get funding from here. Okay. Similarly, we have, you can funding, you can get up to 25 lakhs. So this is all, you can go in the website of the government, you can get it. Then MSME is doing a lot of things for small entrepreneurs. So it is only up to 15 lakhs, 10 lakhs. And they are giving funding as well. 75% fund will give him an MSME if you have good projects. The good project writing is again a skill. You can write a good project, submit to the MSME, they are funding going to give you the funds. The banks are ready. Then for women entrepreneurship, it is a special platform, and the government is highly promoting this for women entrepreneurships. Okay. There are many schemes I've written. You can see from the government website. For self-employment, again, the government has another scheme, this is HSG. So this is again a scheme from where any person can attend. The rule is there, you can take the rules. Surajgar credit card, एक rule उसका है, then I'm not going to read out this. Venture capital scheme, for agriculture business. For agriculture, again, the government is doing a lot of things, and agriculture is one of the area where a lot of startups is going on. Individual farmers, producers, groups, partnership, variety, forms, self-group, they can do like that. This is again, you can see, the most Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. This is again for the availability of the funds. From where you can get the business.
Hello.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Professor Jaffrey, we are really thankful for your valuable and informative lecture for all of us, and really it is highly appreciated from all of us. But I personally feel that entrepreneurship is very good, but we have our young youth, they have phobia, because after getting education, they feel that if you are going in job, they say that the easy money. But if you are going for any entrepreneurship or any business, we have to work hard. So that is only the problem, and we have to eradicate this phobia from the youth. So
sure,
that I'm sure that they will come forward. I personally feel.
That is our job as an educator, as a teacher, as a faculty member. This is our job. That is what we should, and each faculty should feel this is personal task for the educator, and we have to make a connect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Any question from the audience? Audience, please, if you have any question. Any question, please come forward.
Participants, if you want to discuss anything, you can do it right now. And I have posted the quiz link in the chat box. You just fill it and submit the quiz by today. Okay. And at the end, I want to thank you personally, sir, Professor Zainul Zafri, sir. You have accepted our request in spite of being having a very busy schedule. We know that you have a very busy schedule. All of us know that, and you always accept our request. I'm very highly thankful to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I love it.
Yeah,
Actually,
and
I joined teaching as my passion. It was not.
I know,
job.
sir.
So I
I know,
love
sir.
teaching. I want to become, and I don't find any reason why I should deny. If I only thing that traveling is a big issue for me, and in today's scenario, there's no
Exactly,
need
sir.
to travel. So
Indeed, sir, it's good to listen to you for the whole day, but the time is a limit and the constraint that's there.
Obviously,
Otherwise,
obviously.
we wish you to listen you always.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you again. So
Thank
thank
you,
you to
thank
all
you
the
very much, sir.
administration.
Thank you.
Mr. Asim
Yeah.
Saab, also thank you for you.
Thank
Yeah.
you for
coordinating.
also Alik, sir.
You are from Aligarh?
Hmm?
Okay, bye. Very
I
nice, sir.
think
Very nice, sir.
in the year when you were doing MTech, I was doing PhD.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
first of all,
पंकज जी,
very good
आपसे बहुत
afternoon,
दिनों बाद
sir.
मुलाकात हुई पंकज जी. हाँ.
Yeah,
आपसे
yeah.
बहुत दिनों बाद आमने सामने हुए हैं. हाँ.
Yeah, actually, it is always good for me to just have you here and to listen. And
Yes,
I never lose an opportunity to ask the questions to you.
Sure, sure.
So
You
that's
are
why I
welcome.
wish to ask. So, like entrepreneurship is definitely a buzzword right now, and we all are, even the MICs, working on the same direction. But I personally feel the ignition is missing, the
Yeah.
true ignition. So
Sure.
actually, sir, whether it is because of some step process, like the stepping we are not following adequately, or something is because of the understanding, knowledge, resources. Where is the problem? Why we are not capable to make a student an entrepreneur?
सर प्रॉब्लम बहुत जगह है, प्रॉब्लम हर तरफ है. वो सारी चीजें हमने जो डिस्कस की हैं वो हम ये नहीं कह सकते ये चीज हमारी ठीक है, बट पॉजिटिविटी ये है कि वी आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स दैट. सिनेरियो जो आज से 10 साल पहले था वो अब नहीं है, राइट. द स्टैंड्स आर, एक तो ये कि गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज और ऑब्वियसली लिबरलाइज वो कम हो गई हैं. रेड टैपेजिम थोड़ा कम हुई है, लेकिन अभी 90% रेड टैपेजिम है. ठीक है ना. अगर जो इफ यू आर नॉट ए गुड कनेक्टेड पर्सन, यू आर नॉट एबल टू स्टार्ट योर बिजनेस. ये अभी हाई रियलिटी है. वी हैव टू थिंक ये कब चेंज होगा, और दिस ए लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स हैज टू डू इन दैट वे. एक और चीजें बताऊं जो मैं साफ साफ, ये सरकारी नौकरी ने हम सबको मार रखा है. मैं पहले दिन से मैं कहता हूं लड़कों से, हालांकि होल सोसाइटी इस बात को नहीं मानेगी, सब लोग एजिटेशन करते हैं, लेकिन मैं इसके बिल्कुल खिलाफ. मैं आज से नहीं 20 साल पहले से मैं कहता हूं सरकारी नौकरी खत्म होनी चाहिए. नॉट टू कोट एनीवेयर, लेकिन मैं साफ कहना चाह रहा हूं, वोकल पर्सन, ये सरकारी नौकरी करप्शन का जड़ है. कोई सरकारी नौकर काम नहीं करता सर. गवर्नमेंट स्कूल के, प्राइमरी स्कूल के टीचर को 70-80,000 सैलरी गवर्नमेंट दे रही है, दे डोंट टीच. और प्राइवेट स्कूल के टीचर्स को जाइए देखिए, वो 15,000 रुपये पढ़ाते हैं और इतनी मेहनत से पढ़ाते हैं, यू कैन नॉट इमेजिन. आप बच्चे को अपने पब्लिक स्कूल में क्यों भेजना चाहते हैं, सरकारी स्कूल में क्यों नहीं भेजना चाहते हैं? आप एक सरकारी बैंक में चले जाइए और एक प्राइवेट बैंक में चले जाइए, यू विल फील द डिफरेंस. मैं सरकारी नौकरी में ही हूँ, बट आई ऑलवेज से कि हम तो प्राइवेट जैसा काम करता हूँ. मैं ऑलवेज इन माई ऑफिस, आई एम ऑलवेज प्रेजेंट फ्रॉम 9 to 9 PM. मेरी बीवी कहती है 12 घंटे की जॉब, लोग कहते हैं टीचिंग फ्री, मैं कहीं फ्री नहीं रहा हूँ. सो रीजन क्या है कि सरकारी नौकरी जिस दिन खत्म हो जाएगी हम एंटरप्रेन्योर बन जाएंगे. पहली चीज, आज लड़का आपका बीटेक के रोज अखबार पढ़ते हैं ना, बीटेक किया हुआ लड़का जो है आपका, वो प्यून के लिए, कलर के लिए अप्लाई कर रहा है, लाखों एप्लीकेशंस आ रही है. मास्टर किया हुआ लड़का. दूसरा रीजन क्या हो रहा है, हमने जो बताया सोसाइटी में, ये देयर आर 80% हमारे इंजीनियरिंग ग्रेजुएट वो इंजीनियरिंग के लायक नहीं थे. ये हर लड़का इंजीनियर क्यों बनना चाहता है, क्योंकि समाज में उसका नाम है साहब. वो बड़ा फख्र से बाप कहता है, गांव में लड़कों ने अपने, किसानों ने अपने खेत बेच के बेटों को इंजीनियरिंग करवाया. उसका चूंकि एडमिशन हो नहीं सकता था, वो लड़का तो अब जो 60% नंबर है, कोई टेस्ट क्वालिफाई नहीं किया है, लेकिन चूंकि बहुत सारे कॉलेज प्राइवेट है जहाँ एडमिशन हो, तो कह रहे प्राइवेट कई कॉलेज की तुम फेल होते 10+2 में, तब भी आकर के ये ऑफ द रिकॉर्ड हम बातें सब कर रहे हैं, सब डोंट रिकॉर्ड इट। लेकिन वो एडमिशन हो जा रहा है। अब वो बाप खुश है कि हमारा बेटा इंजीनियरिंग कर रहा है, घर पे खेत बेच के कर रहा है, और हो क्या रहा है कि वो इंजीनियरिंग करने पर उसके पास नौकरी कुछ भी नहीं है, वो घर पे अभी बैठा हुआ है, लेकिन वो खुश है, अपने रिश्तेदारों बता रहे हमारे बेटुआ ने इंजीनियरिंग कर रखा है। दिस माइंडसेट वी हैव टू चेंज। मैं बताऊं, मैं जहां मेरी वाइफ एक टेलर है यहाँ दिल्ली के अंदर लाजपत नगर में, वेरी गुड टेलर, सहारनपुर का है वो, उसकी बहुत मेन मार्केट में टेलरिंग जॉब है और अच्छी बिजनेस है। तो मैंने उससे पूछा कि वो बेचारा बूढ़ा हो गया, अब वो कह रहा है सर अब मैं अब नहीं आ पाता हूँ, लग रहा बंद करने पर दुकान, और टेलर बहुत अच्छा, मेरी बेगम वही जाती हैं। तो मैंने कहा भाई आप अपने बच्चों क्यों नहीं लगा रहे हो? कहा सर बच्चे कहाँ आने को तैयार हैं। हमने कहा बच्चे क्या कर रहे हैं? कह रहा नौकरी कर रहे हैं। कह रहे कितना तनख्वाह पाते हैं? कह रहा कि सर मैंने जो घर बनवाया है ना अपने टेलरिंग से, उसकी पुताई नहीं करवा सकते वो अपने पैसे, तनख्वाह के पैसे से, बट दे आर नॉट रेडी टू टेक दैट जॉब। दिस इज द माइंडसेट, दैट माइंडसेट वी हैव टू चेंज। ऑब्वियसली ये स्लोली हो रहा है, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह इट इज गोइंग ऑन। थैंक यू।
Good. Thank you.
थैंक यू वेरी मच
Thank
सर।
you very
मतलब
much,
इतना
sir.
प्रैक्टिकल ग्राउंड पर आपने चीजों का एलोबरेट किया। थैंक यू सर। आई एम डिलाइटेड अगेन टू जस्ट हैव अ डिस्कशन। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Now we will have, dear participant, we will have a break. Now from 12 o'clock, we will start again with the next session. And thank you, sir. Thank you, Zafri, sir, once again for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Allow me to leave, please. Thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Yes. आपको चाहिए सर, लीजिए। हेलो।
And Dr. Asim, are you ready?
Hello. Dr.
Asim,
Garima.
sir, can you listen me?
Yes, sir, I'm listening.
A very good afternoon, ma'am. Dr. Geeta Hegre, ma'am. A very good afternoon and heartily welcome you in
Thank you.
this 12 days FDP's fourth day. We are having an eminent guest speaker with us. Ma'am, this is the fourth day of FDP and all the participants are from different institutes and universities. So the main theme of this FDP is how to motivate our students, as all the participants are faculty member over here. So our main motive is to learn from you that how to motivate, how to promote our students towards the entrepreneurship as per as the academic, like whatever they are learning in their session in their academics, how can you promote them towards the entrepreneurship? This is the theme of this FDP, and I heartily welcome you, ma'am. You accepted our request. Thank you so much. And Dr. Asim, are you there?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Garima. This is I am Dr.
Dr. Asim, can you listen me?
Yes, please. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Asim. I'm enough lucky to introduce a learned personality, eminent scholar and researcher, Professor Dr. Geeta Hegre. She has done a lot of contribution and has attained a lot, and I'm lacking the words to tell about her personality. Professor Dr. Geeta Hegre is a dean in School of Business and head UCIE UPES Council for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. She has earned more than 30 years of academic, consulting, and industrial experience. She is a part of the task force of startup initiatives of Government of Uttarakhand. She has instrumental skill in turning around various education institutions in leadership roles in the last 30 years. Prior to this, she was holding leadership position in leading business schools such as Wellington Institute of Management and PSG Institute of Management. She was director at IFIM Business School, where she led the team to AACSB accreditation. She's a wonderful personality and she is a corporate consultant on marketing and sales enhancement. She is the immediate past chairperson, Confederation of Indian Industries, Indian Women Network, Karnataka. Country Director, India, Euromed Business Research Institute, member of editorial board of Journals of International Repute, faculty sources for MDP at Kozhikode, member, Federation of Karnataka, Chambers of Commerce and Industry. She has uncounted achievements like sales executive for the ITC, Infosys, Murugappa Group, EY, Biocam. She is engaged in consulting with the USA, IWAT, Reliance, and many others. She has presented research paper at the Academy on International Business at the Boston Euromed Research Institute at the Marseille, France, Dubai, Italy, etc. She won the gold medal for the best research paper at the Association of Indian Management School, AIMS. Dr. Geeta was the part of the team at the Global Colloquium on the Participant-Centered Learning at Harvard Business School. She has participated at follow-on session at BS Shanghai. She was invited by Pace University in New York for lecture and discussion and pursuing collaboration research work. And indeed, I have no word to tell about her. She has earned a lot. So, ma'am, you are welcome, and really the session will be benefited by your wide experience and your suggestions. Thank you very much and welcome, madam. Over to you, sir, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Asim.
Well,
for
ma'am,
that.
before
Yeah.
handing over this one, I'm here, Dr. Pankaj Kumar Goswami. So first of all, I'm highly thankful for you. Was just having only single interaction with you, and you just gave your concern to us. And this is definitely time to say a hearty thanks to you. That meanwhile, in a busy schedule, I understand that you are just having a lot of things related with that, and you are just giving your concern to us, and we are thankful to have this day come true. Thank you very much, ma'am, from my side. Please, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj, for first and foremost inviting me for this session. I also thank Dr. Asim. Am I audible enough?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I thank Dr. Asim also for that kind introduction. My thanks to Garima for coordinating the whole, and connecting with me all through. Let me also congratulate Tirthankara Mahavir University for conducting this FDP on entrepreneurship. The topic that was given to me was selecting potential entrepreneurs, rationale for selection. But I think when Garima spoke, she also mentioned about how faculty can inculcate the entrepreneurial mindset among students. So let me see how I'll talk about my experiences, and I'll also speak about a few things on entrepreneurship. And I also will speak about how we at UPES universities entrepreneurship center conduct the entrepreneurial activities, and maybe give you a few case in point on how industries and how institutions really take care of this entrepreneurship, and what are the best practices some of the universities and institutions do. So all of us actually as faculty members do understand our main motive and purpose is to see that our students are employable, and our students are our students are having the required mindset and skill set for the future of work. So as many must have read already, the World Economic Forum and the Future of Work speaks about certain skill sets of the future and what is required. And we all know that, there has been talks about saying that nearly 80% of the work, that is the profiles or the work structure as of today, would change in coming future, and especially because of these disruptions. And as all of us know, pandemic is a double disruption. Today we are sitting on the second wave, and that is something that is very, very unprecedented. The best of minds in the country and the world have not anticipated anything like this. So if this is what is going to be the future and the present, and not only the future but the present, how are we going to create, how are we going to make the future generation, and all of us for that matter, all of us relevant for workforce and relevant for future. So this is something extremely important. And in that, I would say skill set that is required for future. Entrepreneurship has always been a constant requirement. People talk about analytical thinking, people talk about, teamwork, such, team skills, leadership skills, and so on and so forth. But innovation, entrepreneurship, analytical mindset, now these has been continuously required for as a skill set in all these. 2008, when Srikant Dattar, who is now the dean of Harvard Business School, he did on reimagining. He spoke about something. He wrote about reimagining the management schools, and he also spoke about the skill set that is required, because as faculty members and as any engineering or business or any faculty member, what we need to do is we need to convert our students into potential employees or competent professionals, or required as highly employability and highly skilled. I'm overall talking about employability, but I'll quickly speak about, or very soon speak about, entrepreneurship also, and why entrepreneurship is important. So as I mentioned, it is pertinent that every individual or every student has an entrepreneurial mindset to either, to be relevant throughout, and relevant especially in cases like this where there is disruption, and especially in the VUCA world. All of us know and all of us have experienced it, and this we are thinking is the extreme of disruption, but yes, this is the situation as we see. So what we at, let me also speak about a few things, what we do at UPES. As you know, UPES, I'm sure many would have, heard and known, is among the top universities in the country. Recently got the NAC A grade, but we are definitely, confident that we are A plus material. And we are among the, we are one of the great place to work. This is something extremely, something which we take pride in as a university. University is among the top institution that is considered to be a great place to work, and that is something which we put in mind, soul, and everything that we do. Faculty, employees, faculty, and the students are number one for us. Anything that we do, the culture and the faculty, that the betterment of the faculty is some faculty and staff, of course, the entire UPES family, something extremely important. So this is a lot of things that we've done, exhibits or shows about how we are a great place to work. In fact, during the pandemic, we were one of the first universities who closed down and told the faculty members not to come and work from home from the beginning itself. So these are a few things, and we are constantly in touch with our faculty and the students in the form of WeCare, where we are connected with the faculty and students so that they are kept, we take care of them as, to the best of our ability. And UPES today is a multidisciplinary. Today we have 7 schools under the UPES banner. The School of Business, School of Engineering, of course, started off with petroleum and energy studies, but today diversified across and all the futuristic. And today, as we speak, we are talking about robotics in School of Engineering, and artificial intelligence, and so on and so forth. So we are speaking about future continuously. School of Computer Science, School of Law, one of the largest business law schools in the country, School of Design, School of Health Sciences, School of Modern Media. So we have nearly 15,000 students across all these schools, and we are planning to expand as well. The reason why I'm speaking about these different schools also, I will tell you a little later, but we across schools, we have, for all the schools, we have a University Entrepreneurship Center, which is called as UCI. Very soon we will be changing, what our intentions and what we are looking at the UCI Universities Council of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. The reason being, we are continuously changing and continuously developing and continuously looking at future. So, but the UCIE is across, creates a kind of environment or ecosystem for students across the university from all the schools, as I mentioned, to see that there is we create an entrepreneurship ecosystem. And going forward, we want to have 25% of our students to become entrepreneurs going forward. So this is our intention. But to see that, how do we work on this? To see that there is an entrepreneurship mindset, and there is, we create entrepreneurs from our institutions and universities. We work closely with our curriculum. And our curriculum, it is mandatory that every student across the university, we've created something called as a life skill and mandatory courses, which is called as School for Life. So every student across the schools at the university or UPES has to undergo certain mandatory courses, which are put into 3 baskets. That is the life skill courses, exploratory courses, and the signature courses. Now, the signature courses are courses that are mandatory for every student to undergo at the university. Life skill courses are courses that will create students to become equipped for the future of skills of future of work, and hence he will choose from a few set of courses and mandatorily make a few credits. And there is something which is called as an exploratory courses, where the student from any school can take up minors or exploratory courses from other school. For example, a student from School of Engineering wants to do something on financial management, or how do I manage my funds? Or if the school of students from School of Engineering want to do something on strategic management, or a student of School of Business would like to do something on photography. Okay, so there are schools. The School of Design will offer on automation, on automobile designs, design thinking, photography, and so on and so forth. Whereas the School of Engineering will talk about artificial intelligence, robotics, and maybe many others. School of Computer Science will speak about computing, future of computing, persuasive computing, so on and so forth. And School of Business will give all the courses to across the students of university on management areas. Okay, and entrepreneurship essentially comes under School of Business. So that is the reason why I also head the School of Business at the university, which is a huge school with more than 2,500 students across undergraduate and postgraduate programs. And we also have nearly 250 PhD scholars, and all these scholars are from middle and top level business schools, business institutions across the country, and leading business institutions across the country. So what is happening is that we have industry as partners with us. So this becomes important to identify what are the problems, existing relevant business problems, and that can be taken to the classroom and also create solutions. And students are actually actively learning rather than passive learning, which they learn through theories and so on and so forth. So experiential learning, active learning becomes extremely important for us at the School of Business. So hence, School of Business today is among the top 20 schools, business institutions in the country. And the best thing I keep talking about every time, everywhere, in every forum, almost forums, is that the university ecosystem, unlike a standalone business school, even an IIM, is essentially a standalone business school. But an university ecosystem creates this, will give the student a multidisciplinary aspect, or multidisciplinary, multidisciplinary skill set, or hones the students' multidisciplinary skill set. Because as I already told you, it is mandatory for our students to go through courses from different schools and also identify what they want to do. So the minor basket and the exploratory basket that we offer. So in this way, we have created a kind of environment where the students will acquire all these skill sets that I just mentioned about what we are talking about, future of work, or what we are talking about the future skill set that is required. Now, multidisciplinary is one, and entrepreneurial mindset is something that is extremely important, as we already spoke about. So to keeping this in mind, we have, though we have already been doing something which is called as something which is on in the area of entrepreneurship or innovation and incubation and business, entrepreneurial courses. We have made a mandatory course which is called as Start Your Startup. Now, every student of UPES will have to go through this course, Start Your Startup, and we will create and support by allowing the students to start pitching, coming out with new ideas, and also pitching those new ideas across to the relevant fund, people, angel investors, and people who can give funds. Now, this is something that is what we do at the university. Talking about UCIE per se, the university's Council for Innovation and Entrepreneurship per se, we at the university cell, have connect with all the students through school representatives or school faculty. Every school has faculty mentor or a faculty evangelist who will support the students across the school to work with the UCI, work with the Entrepreneurship Center, and also start doing something new or coming out with ideas and show them how we can help them create a business or create a create a small setup or whatever, how to execute his ideas and make it a reality. Now, these are things that we help in UCI. Apart from this, we also are associated with a lot of partners across in the state and also across in the country, and also have a lot of mentors who keep helping and handholding students. There are the faculty mentors, but also we have external mentors who help the students and to create and create this entrepreneurship. Now, we are also at the UCI, we are the nodal center of Uttarakhand Government Startup Initiative. Now, this is really, really hands-on, or this is very, very important for each and every of our students. For example, we, through the university cell and through the support of Uttarakhand initiatives or startup initiatives, we have come out with many entrepreneurs and many ideas and many incubators who have actually created businesses out of that. And the incubators are not only from the university or the students, but we also have incubators who are from the state and outside the state who come and incubate in our incubation center. And we try to accelerate and create the business at a fast pace and help them scale up their business. So this is what we do at the university cell. Now, if I can just quickly share something with you, because then I thought this will help us. How do I go about in sharing? Just give me a minute. I want to share something, a small deck, and show you about what is it that we do at the university. Just a second, I'm not able to, let me see.
Ma'am, are you?
Yeah, is this screen, visible?
Is it visible? Is it visible?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me quickly talk about the topic that was given, and in the meantime I'll also speak to you about what you said, how as faculty members see I would also want to tell that any university, the head of the universities or administrators are only facilitator. It is the faculty and the students. At the point of the faculty and the students is where the value is being created. And this is where any interaction between a faculty and student is extremely, extremely important. So that is why I keep saying, in my school as well, I keep saying mentorship. Every faculty should become a mentor for a student, and every faculty should be able to guide and be a friend, philosopher, and guide a student and put him understand what his interests are and passion is, and thus make him realize his dream. So this is what is extremely important. Though I don't know if I can do a slide share alone, because if I do a slide share, then I'll miss all of you, or I won't be able to, but it's okay. So this is what that I wanted to speak about quickly. So, sometimes what a mistake that an entrepreneur does is that with his interest and passion, he kind of takes in more than what he can chew. So, but ideally, we all know that very, very few entrepreneurs make it big. Now, how do you identify what is it that you need to do to identify how the entrepreneurship entrepreneur can actually scale up. So this is what we actually help our universities sell, and this is what we tell all our faculty members or the mentors to help students to be able to realize the idea and to accelerate the idea. So as you know, what is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the propensity to take risks. There might be some of it which might have been already repeated, but I'm wanting to reinforce a few things. So that is why, you might find some things which you would perhaps see again. So how to take risk, how to plan, how to organize, how to streamline, manage a new business idea, and also scale it up to a global marketplace. So now this is what is important, or this is what is considered what an entrepreneur has to do. So entrepreneur has to create something from the scratch. He has to plan everything, and he also identify, essentially entrepreneurs are their own bosses. Now that is an attraction to everybody, wanting to be their own boss. But please remember, nobody can work in silos. Ideally, everybody or any business environment, that is why I said team players or working with teams is considered as one of the skill set of the future, which is very essential. So though you are your own boss, but essentially you're working with a team. But there's a lot more responsibility to the fate of you and to the fate of the company by being an entrepreneur. So the motivation to take risk in a changing global environment is also high. So quickly running through the historical perspective of entrepreneurship, what does the name entrepreneur actually mean and how did it come up? Okay, so in early 1700s, Richard, constituted this term which is called as entrepreneur. An entrepreneur meant go between or between taker. Okay, in between. It is not a full-fledged business, or it is not doing anything. It is not, it is not that it is on the other side of the spectrum also, but it is something which is talking about with a little bit of resources and small resources, how you come in between and how you create or how you start maintaining disruptions. So this is what this entrepreneurship means. And the term came as well. But it is in the 19th century that, there are a lot of growth that happened in the entrepreneurship environment. In the 19th century, then the economists proposed that the profits of entrepreneurs were separate from the profits of organization. So, the idea of intrapreneurship within the organization, creating new things within the organization is also something extremely important. And as I told you, for this, what is essential is an innovative mindset. Here, I would like to also give you an idea. I'm sure everybody would have heard of this 3M product, which is called as Post-it. Now, Post-it is a product that actually was not created as a planned product by the organization. That is a case in example where 3M then realized that they have to that they have to create entrepreneurial mindset among people. And it is not only entrepreneurial mindset is not for individuals outside the organization, but it is also within the organization. So what they do is that, even today, till date, 15% of the time of the organization's time has to be spent on innovation and thinking new. Now, this is what 3M has done across the organization because they want to create that kind of entrepreneurial mindset among their employees. So the example of Post-it was an accident. And today, Post-it is also considered to be one of the business and one of the most important and most loved business or which the customer likes and is interested in. So this is the thing of intrapreneurship. So profit of entrepreneurial, entrepreneurship is different from that, the profit of the capital ownership. So later in the 20th century, today, we are talking about, we are giving so much of importance of entrepreneurs and are talking about entrepreneurs, somebody who's an innovator, somebody who creatively disrupts. He's able to create something new and actually disrupts what happens in the environment. And Peter Drucker, one of the most well-known management guru, he talks about entrepreneurs as somebody who maximizes opportunity. And I think this is something, ability to maximize opportunity is something which is important. With the resources that is available, with the idea, with the innovation, with the disruptive thought and mindset and what is happening in the environment, how you come out with something new and how you're able to make use of the maximize the opportunity. That is what is important in terms of entrepreneur. Of course, now you understand what are the inputs, what are the inputs of for an entrepreneur, what is the environment that is in the entrepreneur, and what is the entrepreneur creating out of it, and what is the outcome. The process of entrepreneurship is that the environment, which is environmental opportunity, entrepreneurial individual, and organizational context, unique business concepts, and the resources that you have. So here you need to identify all these, identify where are the opportunities, what is it that you have as an entrepreneur, and then the entrepreneurial process where you identify opportunities, assess and acquire necessary resources for implementation. Then follows the actual creation. Now, number of events, and what happens in the degree of entrepreneurship is that innovation is a major key, as we already said. There is risk-taking that is required. And also, what is extremely important to my mind is that how do you be ahead of the curve? How is it that you as an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur is proactive towards what is going to happen in the future? And then creating an outcome. And the outcome could be a great venture, value that you create that there is no value before. Like, for example, if you say Flipkart today or Amazon, today if you see, of course, Flipkart started off as a bookstore, a small bookstore. But what was there? What was the value creation? The value creation for Flipkart, as you must all be knowing, is about supply chain. They had the back end so good that the idea was having a strong back end and saying that you will get your book within half an hour of asking for it or putting an order. Now, if this is how they've done this, backend should be strong. They should have that much of confidence to give the book to you as and when you require, or in that commitment, or in the promise that they've made. Now, the supply chain was so strong. Okay, so that is what is a small concept of bookstore grew into a company that was later bought by a world, today bought over by Amazon, and trying to create a big, and of course, the value that they created is huge. So there are many companies like this, the unicorns that is being converted, ideas that have been converted into unicorns. India is, of course, a great place for such unicorns and ideas because of the type of ecosystem that we have and the problems that we have and the solutions and the number of solutions, the number of problems and the solutions that we have to create. Technology is a major intervention for any kind of entrepreneurial venture. Technology is the base. Profits are created through these entrepreneurs. And of course, the best thing is that you're creating employability to others and you're creating assets to others and the revenue, and then there is growth. As an entrepreneur, you're creating job rather than seeking for a job. So this is something that we would in our university also, we are very particular to create. So there is nothing more beautiful than someone who goes out of their way to make life beautiful. So you're creating jobs is something that is very, very important. What is an entrepreneurial leadership? Now, just like any other aspect that requires a leadership aspect, leadership focus, being the first, as I told you, being ahead of the curve. We always speak about, and we say that our pedagogical, Garima was talking about what can faculty do. I would suggest that the faculty look creating a pedagogy or creating a kind of curriculum that focuses more on problems, understanding problems first, taking it to an experiential environment and actually brainstorming on the problems, working on the problems, creating solution, and then creating a theory out of it, rather than starting with a theory and then trying to use that theory in different setups or different situations. I think in today's environment, we don't have time to actually experiment and experience. What is important is that pick out life problems and then come out with the solutions. Now that is leadership. That is the entrepreneurial leadership. So turning problems into opportunities that create economic and social value is something which is extremely important. Now this is what, as faculty members, we should also be looking at. Where are the problems? How are the business problems? Where are the pain points, and how that problem can be created into a solution? So being an entrepreneurial leader requires an openness to learning, to invite opportunity in and motivate and mobilize others in the organization to do the same. So how does, what is the entrepreneurial leadership? What exactly the entrepreneurial leadership do? What does he do? He focuses on opportunity. He or she is a learner. Start with the means at hand. What is important is that you cannot always think that I need so much and everything, only when that happens, I can do something. But you should understand what is there in your environment and start working on it. Seek output, invest invest in your team, think big, seek feedback, and take action. Now, these are some of the skill set that is required for an entrepreneur. Now, I spoke about an entrepreneurial leadership. How is it that an entrepreneur different from a leader? So entrepreneur essentially talking about profit, short or long run, enterprise and business. He's essentially talking about, when you speak about goal is for an entrepreneur is essentially a profit. You cannot continue keeping your business if you're not thinking of profit. You cannot say that, you can, even if you're talking about a non-profit organization or a organization which is going to give back to the society, even that requires funds to run and sustain. So you cannot, as an entrepreneur, think that I'm just going to do some kind of change for a short time and there is no sustainability requirement. So what is essential for an entrepreneur is a long-term and sustainability. Keep in mind that it has to create some kind of additional funds or money that will keep the organization growing and also create a scalability. Time frame could be longer, short run for an entrepreneur, but essentially, as I told you, it is better to think of long run. You are essentially working for enterprise and businesses. Resource availability might be low because you're starting. Entrepreneurs normally start off as small businesses and then grow. And achievement orientation has to be high, of course, and then opportunity and innovation skill has to be extremely high. Okay, achievement, though it is not saying medium, but of course, opportunity seeking, important is opportunity seeking and innovation. So essentially what is important is that to be an entrepreneur, you should have something which is called as ambidexterity. I don't know if you are able to do multiple things. You're, like I told you, multidisciplinary. Decision, your capability of looking at the future, okay, has to be very, very high. Your stance for social and self-awareness is also very good. And as entrepreneur, entrepreneur is looking at social aspects, looking at environmental, economic responsibility, and the sustainability aspect that I already told you. I'm just going to talk about this and stop for a while. If there are any, thoughts, or if there is anything that you would want to also speak about. So, what are the attributes? Key attributes are circle of safety. Now, this is extremely important. But what is the entrepreneur all the time worried about? The other day, it was the World IP, Intellectual Property Day. I think it was on the 26th or 25th or 26th, I think. So where we did for our entrepreneurial cell, we did on trademark and intellectual property rights and trademark. We did a workshop on that. Now, when I said circle of safety, the entrepreneurs are always worried about who will take off their ideas and what happens if somebody else copies their idea. Now, this thing again is important for an entrepreneur, and an entrepreneur has to be able to keep his trademark and differentiation and to himself. Now that is something which you need to also identify and teach a student or maybe a future entrepreneur. But knowledge sharing, you don't lose anything by sharing knowledge. In fact, you might gain more goodwill and you might gain more well-wishers and maybe more customers. Help others to succeed. Possess infinite mindset. Nothing should be a constraint to an entrepreneur, and motivation should be through vision. Your clarity of what the vision is. Garima, can I just stop here for a minute so that, if there is any questions or something, I can take it. I'm not too sure. Or should I continue? Or is there a break? I thought there was a break or something.
Carry on, madam.
Was that?
Yeah.
You want me to carry on? No, I'm just asking, is there a break? I mean, there was something it said in between break or something. So is there any questions, or I don't know, I can't see the chat box.
Ma'am, yeah, actually there is a quiz. So we have prepared a quiz regarding your topic. So
Okay.
that quiz we will post in the chat box, and all the participants will fill that quiz and will submit it within 1 hour. So, and meanwhile, if any participant want to discuss with you regarding this topic or regarding entrepreneurship, they can do over here if your permission is there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Instead of, continuously, if there's anything that you want.
Yeah. So I request. Yeah. I request all the participants.
Or maybe you have a.
Yeah. Dear participants, I request you all, if you have any query regarding anything about entrepreneurship, you want to discuss with ma'am, it's a great opportunity with us. You can discuss, you can send your, post your query in the chat box also, if you want to do the same. Ma'am, please you continue. If there will be any query, they will just post in the chat box. Otherwise, I will post the quiz link in the chat box also. They will submit the quiz.
Okay, because I thought, it said that 12:45 to 12:45 to 1 or some 10-minute break. So that's why I thought that, there's something that you want to do.
Yeah, it was, but you can summarize before the time because we skipped that gap, and you can summarize before 10 minutes before.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. So let me continue. Okay. So this is what I was, right. So this is what I was talking to you about, So let us go about, what are the attributes is what I was saying, but I'll speak a little more about the skills that are required also in my future, as I speak the further slides. Okay. So, most of the important thing, what is, how to create a kind of gut or a motivation is something that is creating a motivation for an entrepreneur is something which is important. Okay. So creating that, how there is a reward at the end of the day, and how you can, what are the motivation aspects, how you can provide more jobs to people, and how is it that your passion can be, can be achieved, is something that we need to look at in terms of in terms of entrepreneurial aspect. Okay, so the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Okay, so as we know, execution is a key for everything and anything. For example, for you can be a great strategist, you can be a great person who can ability to communicate something, but if you can't execute, and then the entire plan, is no plan at all. If you cannot execute the plan, is almost like you have not planned anything. So the strategy and the plan has to be executed. So that is what is important. And and creating a kind of, start doing is something that is essential. So what is my little bit, this last, I was generally wanting to tell a little more on entrepreneurial mindset and what are the different how do you, I don't know how many of you all have seen something called as a Shark Tank. Can anybody tell me about it? Maybe I'll ask you a question. If somebody can tell me about, I'm sure you would have in this team. Are they allowed to react and talk? Because instead of me talking, is there, or you can even put it in the chat box.
I think it's good idea. Ma'am, please.
Yes, who is talking? If you can just tell me.
Asim Ahmed, please
Yeah,
carry
go
on.
ahead, Dr. Asim. I'm just wondering, I'm sure you would have seen this, you would have heard of Shark Tank, anybody? What is a Shark Tank and what do they do? Okay, no, I'm actually talking about a TV. It is a live TV serial. But the reason why I'm saying is that this is a channel which actually helps the entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs to meet investors or angel investors. And I think this is what we need to do in our environment also as well. We have to create something like a Shark Tank where we should be able to bring our entrepreneurs or ideas, create people who create good ideas as students, because students have a lot of new and nice ideas. So ask them, bring that ideas and bring them and support them with the mentors and also with, it's a very, very interesting, Shark Tank is a very, very interesting channel and continues. You all must watch that, because that is a really very, and it talks about, it's a live channel which actually creates entrepreneurs and brings entrepreneurs to angel investor, and that is telecast on this channel. So and what do they look for? How do they, where is it that the investor is willing to invest the money on and what kind of ideas? So some of the things that are extremely important or considered as qualities or skills of an entrepreneur is that, number one, they should be willing to work hard. Though you say that you're the boss, it should not be like that boss is only ordering and boss is sitting and getting things done. But the actual dirtying the hands and actually working should also happen with the boss. And that is when the hard working and the resilience and continuously, even if you fail, the ability to keep doing well has to be there. So hard work is one of the most important qualities. Innovation, innovation, new thinking, creativity, understanding the problem, ability to understand what exactly is the pain point, empathy, all these things come under innovation to me. Unless and until innovation is something, unless and until the entrepreneur has a empathetic mindset and ability to understand what is the problem that we are addressing and what is the solution that we are providing, I do not think that you would be able to create an entrepreneurial venture out of it. Determined, resilient, focused, determination that what may, that you will convert that idea into an execution and a solution and a success. Independent, not, this is what I said, you are not bound by any kind of problems or issues. Okay, you create from the small, you start creating something new and start working on it. Productive, the outcome should always be more than the input. That is extremely important. And I told you, entrepreneurs are for creating businesses or creating venture. Self-reliance, the locus of control should be within and not outside. One should not keep saying that I could not do that because of this or because of that, because the policy was not right. So these are things you should have thought in the beginning itself. You cannot say that, that the environment is wrong or I need to focus on, the issue is something that more and more self-reliance should be there. Things should be able to, as a self, you should be, as an entrepreneur, he or she should be able to rely on self on any kind of, or whenever there is major issues or anything. Focus is another aspect. An entrepreneur is always focused and understand what the vision is, what and where to go and how to do it, and stay focused till the end. self-motivation, inner motivation, that's what I was talking to in one of the earlier aspects or earlier thing, motivating entrepreneur and how the inner motivation or the self-motivation plays a very important role in an entrepreneur. Risk takers, ability to, to be able to do something that the others are not having the risk or ability to do it, take risk and start working. That is something which is important. Frugal, I'm sure you know what frugal is. Frugal, like we do, in India especially, we are very good at working with the minimum resources and using the lowest amount of resources. Do not go around, spending unnecessarily. Do not go around wasting resources unnecessarily. Need to be extremely cautious and extremely frugal. What we do in our and innovative and frugal. I think India is known to create things or solutions out of being innovation and frugal. That's what we call as jugaad, as you know. We are able to do things because we are seeing the problems and we know how to handle situations. So frugal mindset and innovation is extremely important. Very, very passionate about what you're doing. Without passion, and I think, if you don't have interest in doing, even not only entrepreneurs, even the work that we do, we will not do well if there is no passion. Definitely, entrepreneurs should have the skill of creating or talking about oneself, or talking about the work, or talking about the product or the service. So the salesmanship has to be there, and this is extremely important. And last but not the least, differentiation and uniqueness. That is what I was talking about when I said trademarks. Why is it that it is important to have a trademark? Why is it that the differentiation is important? So the uniqueness aspect of an entrepreneur will keep you differentiated from the other brands or other products or other services or other solutions, and hence can create a better entrepreneur and can be able to scale up. So now this is what I think as faculty members, you will have to inculcate among your students so that he has an entrepreneur, he starts working on an entrepreneurial mindset. Now this, if you look at it, or these skill sets are not only for entrepreneur, I guess this skill set is something which I would call as a future of work or future of skills. These are the skill sets that are required for any person or any student or any youngster to be relevant in the future. So how do you select? This is what was given in as a topic, selecting an entrepreneur. How do you identify? As I told you, this particular serial, which is called a Shark Tank, is very it actually talks about how a pitch deck, how entrepreneur comes and talks about, pitches his product and a service or a new idea. And then there are a set of investors who would like to invest on this, because obviously you need money for starting a business or starting something new. So this, these people will actually invest or will accept the idea, invest or do not invest. So you look for street smart rather than book smart. And I already told you, your pedagogy or your curriculum should change from theory, to problem, solution, and then the model or a theory, rather than theory and model and then the solution. Or you're putting creating identifying problem and solution. So the other aspects or should change. It should be more of a person who's able to understand, and some entrepreneurs or an entrepreneur would be a person who is street smart and who can think on his feet. So that is extremely important. And look for someone with a legacy of business success. You should know that he or she is able to or has some kind of connectivity with the business success. The people who can or the skill of developing and sharing their vision of what success means to them, to find compatibility. They are vision focused, mission focused, and also able to kind of put in the resources together so that they create a new business or a business that will scale. And last but not the least, somebody who's willing to learn and relearn and, be flexible and be able to, change along with the changing ecosystem or changing requirement. So finally, I'll stop with what UPES UCI is and what we do at UPES UCI. So we are focusing on something called as we want to create a startup culture among our, as I told you, our startup ecosystem, not only among our students, but also among, the ecosystem or the entire, especially focusing on local community and also Uttarakhand in general, because that is what we are as part of. We are also, we are the nodal center for Uttarakhand government startup initiatives. So we create an entrepreneurial mindset in the university. Because of this, the entrepreneurial mindset in the university has grown, and several students have shown interest in launching their own startups. We also provide seed funds for faculty and the students. We would like the main, if you want to have entrepreneurship culture among the university, it is important that the faculty also have an entrepreneurial mindset. So to that, we try and see that we encourage the faculty members also to do something related, to have an entrepreneurial ideas, come out with ideas, and also invest on the same. And also, thus support the students. And interestingly, the government also supports, because we are the nodal center. Recently, I had one of my students from School of Business. He has created something which is called a supply chain of agricultural product, which is called as AgriJoy. And that 5 lakh was given to him. He's in the final year, just going to pass out. But he already got 5 lakhs from the government of Uttarakhand, who is supporting his venture and, helps him, would help him in the future because they found his idea extremely good and scalable. Now, find out, we are also supported with we tie up with many other organizations, not only in Uttarakhand, but also across the country. But we are also part of startup initiative of the government of India, where we help and, work with the different stakeholders and start seeing how we can create an entrepreneurial ecosystem. We are having partners such as, from places like Andhra Pradesh, from Karnataka, which is again, Thai, and also a few other organizations. So that supports the entrepreneurial initiatives of this university and also with the thing. So member of faculty mentors, also we are planning to, help in the incubation and innovation time. Evangelists to the student community is done through discussion, mentoring, and participation with various events. So we do support, we have student faculty evangelists and we have student evangelists from each of the schools. I told you we have 7 schools as of now. And also we are having School for Life. But with all of them, we are creating a support system apart from having external mentors to help students to create the entrepreneurial mindset. So faculty evangelists and the student evangelists are working as a conduit to the respective school and enhance entrepreneurships. And as I told you, we have created a mandatory course for all students across the university to come out with, which is called as Start Your Startup, where you support entrepreneurial mindset. So the business, and then we have a business incubator, which will help. We give them space, physical infrastructure, till some hand holding, till such time they become successful or sustainable entrepreneurs. So with this, we would like to create an entrepreneurs and innovators for building a vibrant and sustainable national economy. So that's what we are trying to contribute back to the society, and also thus see that there is, and as you know, the Prime Minister says, have an how to create an Atmanirbhar, create something which we will stand by. We are able to stand on our own feet. So this is what, and this is how we create entrepreneurial mindset among the students. So I think I'll stop here. If you want me to speak more, then I can. But is there any questions or is there any discussions post this?
From the participants, is there any question or query you want to discuss with them?
Or if you can even give me suggestions, we learn from each other. I can tell you about my experiences and what I do with the university and how we do at our university. But I'm sure there might be some ideas which the faculty can also speak about, or you can talk. But as I told you, for us, what is important is that in the university, we are clearly focusing on, and especially in the School of Business, I am looking at creativity, innovation, and I'm of course talking about digital. For me, everything on entire pedagogy, I have told my faculty members to speak about digitalization, digital transformation, and also to speak about analytics is something which we are focusing on, because data is extremely important. So that data and using the data and how you're coming out with the answers through the data or solutions through the data, that is what we are looking at. And of course, changing the entire solutions and resolve things is something that we are looking at. So across the School of Business, I have told in any kind of pedagogy and any curriculum and anything that you teach has to have digital aspects, has to have analytical inputs, be it any, because in School of Business, we have many programs. I'm talking about School of Business, but of course I can talk about the university also. But School of Business, we have many programs, and they are those programs are new programs which are perhaps very, not available in other institutions or universities or business schools. Our undergraduate program itself has BBA, for example, BBA in aviation, BBA in oil and gas and energy, power management. We are now starting on BBA in undergraduate in energy. In green energy and sustainability. We are talking about alternate energy and sustainability. So there are very, very focused programs. And also, of course, apart from that, we have digital business, we have analytics, we have the MBA, BBA and MBA with human resource, and finance, marketing and all. But we are, every program has to have digital analytics, entrepreneurship mindset across. So this is what we are looking at. And so this is why I feel entrepreneurship it's not about only creating entrepreneurs from one set of people, but having an entrepreneurial mindset across skill is extremely important.
There's a query in the chat box. Usually selection of type of business is a challenge. How do we identify the local scope for it? Mr. Brijesh Jalal has queried this query.
Okay. No, yeah. See, that's why, like I told you, we are tied up with Uttarakhand government, and that is a purely what work they do is they look at local benefits and local aspects or local requirement, and so they help us screen. So what type of businesses and what to do. So I can give you many examples. See, for example, yes, I understand selection a type of business is a challenge. So I think I already told you something about input. Look at what are the input and what are the resources that you have. For example, I can even talk to you about one of the boys in our system. In example, if I talk about Uttarakhand, a lot of entrepreneurship is either related to agriculture because you have flora and fauna there, or it is related to tourism because a lot of tourism. So there is one of the entrepreneurial venture of Uttarakhand which has got international funding. This is about tourism, okay, where they have create your own homestay or a tent, carry your own tent kind of thing. So it could be a tourism. Education is a big thing that is happening around Uttarakhand, and using the flora and fauna, about and the type of closeness that we have to the Himalayas and things like that. So there is this guy who has identified his venture is called as Himadri. Now he is coming out with the natural salt, but that salt is it is, he's talking about the salt which has medicinal value because this salt is not from the lake, it is from the Himalayas and the rocks. So, and he says, and converting, and also salt from vegetation. Okay, so he's talking about mixing that salt and making it a little more, making it, it to be medicinal value apart from the taste also. So, so that venture is very local, but like I told you, and it is different, okay, and it can be scaled up. So that is how you need to identify opportunity. Opportunity is around you. You look around you, keep your eyes and ears open, and see what are the problems and what is it not addressed. And something, as you know, it has to be innovation, it has to be new, and also use support from the ecosystem. Like this is what we are trying to help in terms of UCI or faculty mentors, or the government support is giving that support to create that environment where your idea is judged and inputs are given. But like I told you, no, as a entrepreneur should be very confident about their idea as well. But of course, you can take help and suggestions from people. But if you see the resources that is available and the new ideas and the problems, then I think you can come out with understand what type of business to start. And there is opportunities all around. It's not that, if you can identify a proper market. And there is one interesting aspect also. I don't know if you know, there is in the same thing in Uttarakhand. What is that called? 99 paisa, 99 rupaya. I don't know if anybody has seen that. They're very interesting. 99 rupaya rupee. Has anybody heard of this? And I think even that website or something is called as. Here is a very, very local tailor. He's based out of Uttarakhand. He's doing nothing but doing garments, especially sari blouses for women. But everything, it's designer blouses for women, but at 99, his range of, it's very interesting. He's just taken a concept somewhere of pricing at 99 rupees, like the Bata pricing that we call. And he sources his material in a bulk from somewhere in Delhi. All he does is does a little bit designer in his wherever shop or tailor, and puts it on. Just have a look at it. It's so beautiful. It's like
I just checked that.
Did you check that? I don't know if you, it's some 99 rupiah.
Yeah, it's a 99 rupiah. Yeah.
Who is this? Ashu.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Ashu Gautam. Yeah.
Can you share that? And nothing. He's doing nothing. He's doing that much. So
it's very simple. 99rupaya.com. It's just, it's about.
Can you share that website? Can you share that website? If
we'll share that. Yeah, on the chat box, we'll share
just
that.
to show you, you were asking, how do you identify a business? Look at this man. He's a small tailor sitting in a remote village in Dehradun. And he's created something like this. And it's nothing. He's just sourcing in bulk from Delhi or somewhere. And then he's just put up a website, but he's doing extremely well. And now and there are many buyers across the country. And they say it's really good. And it is all through word of mouth. People who buy are very happy with this. Yeah, 99rupaya.com. No, can you share that website if you have it with you?
While ma'am, this meeting is going on my laptop, and I was just
Okay,
checking
you're
it
not
on the
able to.
mobile phone. Yeah.
Okay, fine, got it. So that's what it is. You know, that is what I'm trying to tell you. So this is how you can, let me see if I can do it, but this is how you can create a business. Without a person with no kind of resources, or a small person who's sitting in Dehradun, he's done this. And if he can do it now, so this, look at his, and his website is really great. So if you can, let me see if I can share this.
Dr. Geeta ji,
Yes.
are you going to conclude or have you finished?
I have finished.
Okay, thank you very much,
You don't
ma'am.
have time, but yeah.
Really,
So this is what
it's
I wanted to
amazing
say.
and
Okay.
energetic delivery from your side. Really, you have given every word and every sentence valuable for our audience. And definitely, if anyone is interested to get up and to start their business, definitely they will be benefited. Really, you have given your valuable time for the prosperity of the entrepreneurship, and definitely it will bring laurels and rewards by your hard work and your valuable time. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you. I hope it was useful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank
And
you.
stay safe, stay healthy.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. You spare a valuable time. I know that you are so busy. You have a busy schedule with you, and but in spite of that, you accepted our request, and you has given us a lot of information regarding entrepreneurship and such the information 99rupee.com. That's very useful information, and
Actually, have a look at that beautiful website. That is somebody who's
yeah,
not even educated.
definitely we'll check it. Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, now I request Dr. Pankaj Goswami, the co-convener of this FDP, for please for a vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Yeah, I'm here. Because of on my system, there was a network glitch. So I'm here. So well, I, Dr. Pankaj Kumar Goswami, again, I'm extremely thankful for the DST basically, because this ignition has been just taken because of the DST. They are just providing some sort of the things related with the ignition within the society, within the education systems to create such kind of an entrepreneur so that they would not be asking job every time. So this is basically a main challenge for us. And exactly, we are highly thankful to you, ma'am, that you accepted our invitation. And during your session, I was really ignited to get more things like that. It is possible, exactly. We cannot say like just only having it is a part of a talk. Even that we are doing a lot of practice. We are just having own IIC cell, Institutional Innovation Council cell is there. We are working hard with the MIC, MHRD Innovation Cell. We are working in the direction of the NISP. We are working with the ARIA data frames. So we are trying to incorporate more number of things to really create at least few entrepreneurs within the student, because we have become a faculty members. Now it's challenging for us to take a risk. So this is the basic issues. But after having your session, I think of like many of them will be thinking again about that, and they would have a chance to just turn up one or two students, and they can just say that you are in a stage that you may take a risk. So we are extremely thankful to you, ma'am, to have you here, to have your words, you have your words of wisdom, really. So I'm extremely thankful, all the members of this GST or FDP organizing team. So those are just doing a so hard work here. Specifically thankful to the convener of this FDP, Dr. Garima Goswami. She's taking too much heart of work and just collecting such kind of a gems for us. So this is really good. So with these words, thank you everyone. Thank you very much. And more while this particular session is live on YouTube as well as on Facebook Live is there. So if because of any sort of the technical issues, network glitches there, so you may just connect up over here. Thank you. Thank you once again, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So while the same as here, always there will be a quiz and that will be posted in the chat box as well as in the WhatsApp group. So it is required to participants to fill up as it was informed earlier. Thank you very much.
Yeah, participants, there is a link for the quiz over here in the chat box. And moreover, I will post it in the group also, in the participant group also. You just fill it and submit it by today itself. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Asim sir.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I'm always with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.